Greetings, readers. I just finished Titan Hoppers by Rob J. Hayes, and this is a different one. This is a hard one to classify, let me tell you. Right off the bat, you can see the bold here. Courage Iroh will shatter the gates of power to protect his fleet. Fleet, meaning, okay, great. This is going to be a science fiction book. But that's where it starts to get difficult to classify it. There's like lit RPG elements, kind of. There's cultivation elements, kind of. I really enjoyed it because it kind of brought together these various elements from these various genres, and it's just like, ooh, I kind of like that, so I'll go ahead and add a dash of this in here, and ooh, I like that from that genre, so I'll just take a little bit of that and I'll throw that into here. And even though it doesn't reinvent the wheel, it kind of takes things in a different fashion that just makes things kind of nice. So, spoiler free, what is it about? Well, our main character here is good old Iroh, as you can see there. And spoiler free, the book sets off a very unique world in that humanity is living on these things called Titans, hence the title Titan Hoppers, because they hop on down to the Titan and scrounge about what they need to survive, be it food, materials, etc., to keep their fleets running, to obviously keep their bellies full, and so they can just live. But again, right from like the very first chapter, we identify that they also don't know how they got there. They've forgotten where they've come from. It's actually quite interesting. So it immediately raises the question, how did humanity, because apparently this is all that's left of humanity, how is humanity on this huge frigging Titan floating into space? And what are you going to do now that it's blown up? Again, not spoilers, it's right there in the description. It starts off with the Titan exploding. His sister, unfortunately, doesn't make it back from that particular journey onto that Titan, and so they have to essentially find a new one, while still asking the questions, who are they? Where did they come from? There's some similarities between the things here and the things there. And I admit, it wrapped me. I wanted to know, how did humanity get to this point that they are now scrounging on these, huge titans in order to survive? Where is the rest of humanity? Why and how do some of them have rather unique abilities and others don't? Iroh, our lovely little main character here, born without that stuff. And over the course of the book, he has to find his role in that. He has to find his way of getting power, his way of becoming accepted among everyone else when, he's way past the age where he should have any kind of abilities, and everyone's like, Again, all of this not new in the slightest, but it's really interesting to have this take on it in a sci-fi universe. It's very interesting to have this take on it with little bits of RPG elements, little bits of cultivation elements in. I love the questions that arise. Things don't just come easy to the main character. It's not just, bland wish fulfillment. And the trials and tribulations that our lovely main character goes through is actually relevant to the ending of the story. So you got me. I'm hooked. I want to know more. I want to read more. I can't wait for book 2. If you are a fan of lit RPG, but you're not a fan of sci-fi, you should give it a try. If you're a fan of sci-fi, but you're not sure about the lit RPG elements, though you do read the occasional fantasy, you should go ahead and give it a try anyway. Again, it's hard to pin down which genre or genres this book fits under, but I think no matter what you like it, if you like character progression, character development, if you like essentially the mystery of races, in this case humans, backstory trying to be discovered and unveiled, I mean, there's a whole bunch of reasons why you're going to like it. Just get it. I don't think you are going to be at all disappointed. Way to go, Rob J. Hayes. I mean, it's even a decent length, 469 pages. Nice. So if you're afraid of epically long 1,000-page tomes, it's not one. If you don't want to read anything that's too short, like 200-300 pages, it's not that either. It's right in the middle. Hard to find a reason not to like the book. Give it a try. I think this little blurb here, if you're fans of Cradle and Iron Prince, you'll probably like it. Yeah, probably will. Probably will. All right, let's switch up and go into the spoiler review. This is your warning. If you want to avoid spoilers, time to bug out. If you are still on this video at this point, you want to know more about the book, and we will be doing so in great detail. So, Courage Iroh, as you know, from our main character here, begins off when a really young child watching his sister, who is just like the star in his sky, so to speak, go off heroically to a Titan because it done be blowing up. And they're going one last trip onto this enormous machine from who knows where to get as many supplies for the fleet before it's too late, right? So, one heroic last journey. Great, fantastic. But again, she doesn't make it back. It goes boom. A lot of hoppers die. Very sad. They have to go to somewhere else. They don't even know where. And that being the whole nowhere bit, that's rough. Because he wants to follow in her footsteps, be a hopper. And unfortunately, he has no abilities. He tested for all of them. He ain't got anything. Sorry. Just coming up nothing. So he becomes a mechanic. The ships are falling apart because now we fast forward like 10 years or so into the future, and 10 years of like no new materials, supplies horrifically dwindling to nothing, ships being left behind, completely scuttled because they've just broken down without getting repaired. Like humanity's on its last legs when they find a new Titan. Now you might be thinking, oh, okay, I know what happens now. They find the Titan, and now suddenly he's probably sitting there staring out the window and, whoa, I've got powers now. Kind of like wish fulfillment, right? No, it's actually kind of interesting. Like, you know, the main character's gonna have powers because that's the story, you know? It even tells you right there. He won't just open the gates of power, he'll break them. So you know he's gonna get powers, but how does he do it, right? Well, that's kind of cool. Because these ships are so broken down dog tier, they're rapidly, once they find a new Titan, rapidly like going as fast as they can to try to like go over there, get as many materials as possible, because they're out of fuel, they're almost out of food. So it's all hands on deck as they try to go to the new Titan that they found, hoping that it's like the old one and it's got the stuff. But these things are junker, so he's like repairing it as fast as possible. Like the hopper that wants to go is like getting impatient, and he gets it on running order. But yeah, someone apparently didn't tell the door not to spark and shut immediately because of like cross wiring or something. So he's shot off essentially on a pod to the new Titan, powerless still. And it's over there, accidentally. Yeah, he finds out that he's got some skill, and so he's got to learn how to handle himself because, hey, everybody needs to pull their weight right now because humanity's going to circle in the drain. So right away, I'm all for it. Unfortunately, his brand of power isn't like the one that's like back home with his ships, what they specialize in. He has to go to like a different ship, so he's around all new people that really don't like him because their ships are better ships. Yeah, a little bit of nobility kind of here, picking on the poor peasant. Again, a lot of this isn't new or groundbreaking, but how the author uses it in this way, it kind of feels new, which is part of why I liked Titan Hopper so much. Like, I saw what elements they were using in the book. I know that I've read stories like this a lot before, but not in this way. And that's what really had me throughout the entire book. I won't give everything away. Suffice to say, yes, he has powers, he learns. This Titan they find themselves on is like 100 times more dangerous. So that sucks. And it's not because he's suddenly a god that everything is going to turn out well. It's not, he isn't, it won't. Right? Again, not very wish fulfillment. Like, the events in the story are believable. The classes in the story, which they get from the lit RPG elements, are believable, but there's like no XP, there's no, stat screens and whatnot. It's just like, oh, lit RPG, yeah, I like people like the abilities thing, so we're gonna go ahead and take some abilities and put them in our book. And they're like, yeah, cultivation, yeah, people like cultivation, and like working on improving yourself and like the constant training to get stronger. So I'm gonna put some of that in here. And it just mixes together very, very well in this environment. I won't completely give away the ending. Suffice to say, as I mentioned in the first half, the trials the main character goes through of, kind of if he's going to be accepted, if he's going to be strong enough, if he has enough courage to actually do his part when he realizes his dream of following his sister's footsteps is a lot scarier than he thought it would be. Like, he's not like, ooh, I've got powers now, I'm Superman. No, he's scared to death, which makes what he's going through believable, right? Because you have to like go with what you expected versus the reality. He has to meet those two head on. It's like, I wanted to be this person, I wanted to be like her, but oh my god, this crap is scary and I don't want to die. So I like it. And I think you'll like it. I recommend it completely. Titan Hoppers, I'm not going to say it's S tier. It's definitely a strong A or B in my book for what it is. I hope the next book is just as good. Good old Rob J. Hayes. From what I can tell, somehow I've never come across this author before, but I will be checking out some more of his stuff, and if I like it, I'll pass on the recommendations to you. Have you read Titan Hoppers before? Are you going to? What did you think of it? Let me know in the comments down below. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you will enjoy. And as always, see you next review. Good reading, everyone.